Hi, gang. Rob here. It is the afternoon of 22 January 2024. Coming to you today with another in my series of annual videos. This will be a state of the collection piece on traditional pocket knives. Mostly slip joints, but a couple locking. Let me move the eye candy out of the screen and we'll get right to it, shall we? All right. As most of you know, I've done a little bit of a cull in my collection in 2023. I had some motorcycle projects, a motorcycle I had to replace, and the collection was getting big and it was populated by some stuff that I just didn't love. Now it is sort of pared down to things I adore. Yeah. So I'll tell you what, let's get right into it. We're going to start with Great Eastern Cutlery as I run down the list by manufacturer, and you're going to notice that mostly it consists of Great Eastern Cutlery. So let's get started. First up, and these are in no particular order except how I have them displayed. This one is a number 38 English Whittler in a gorgeous jig bone with rat tail bolsters. A true split back Whittler, as you can see by the center wedge spacer. Gorgeous jig bone, Sheffield shield, Warncliffe main on a cam tang, and then two secondaries, a pen, and a coping, both on half stops. I love the 38, and frankly, my cull took care of all my Grinling Whittlers because they were worth a lot of money. So I'm left with this one and the next knife, which is a Great Eastern Cutlery 15th anniversary rendezvous knife from 2021. There is your etch on the main, and it's the same blade set, same bone. This one is a safe queen, however, never gets used or carried because it's a rendezvous knife. Next, this one I purchased, I believe, at the 22 rendezvous from my buddy John Rao. This is a Collector Knives exclusive from Mac Latham. It is a number 23 liner lock trapper in stunning mesquite wood. And there's your liner lock that rests atop the tang of the blade instead of butted up against the back of it. So generally there's a little up and down play, but not in this one. Super solid. And a man's pull, by the way. A solid 8, maybe an 8.5. A great large knife to carry. I generally carry this in that two-tone flap belt pouch from GEC. Next, I purchased this one outside of the rendezvous same year. And this one is an Acorn series, a GEC stainless steel knife. It is a 73 Scout with a drop point main and a space secondary, one of 350. And the thing that makes this special to me is that stained green tea pick bone that is just stunning, and it gets more beautiful as time passes. I love that knife. Also from the 2022 rendezvous is the rendezvous knife. It is the 88 Diamond King sow belly in stunning acrylic with the diamond shield. The main blade, I will call it a special clip with the Diamond King etch and the Patty's potato peeler etch on the back side. The secondary blade is a lamb foot commemorating the 2022 annual rendezvous. That's a safe queen. Next up, I think this was a 2021 purchase. One of those set-asides for the store during a rendezvous. It's a 47 Viper in desert ironwood, satin finished, shield and bolsters as well. and that amazing Wharncliffe blade that you get with the 47 Viper. So this was produced in 2020. I can't remember. Did I buy that in 21 or 22? I don't know. It's gorgeous. I love it. On that 47 Viper theme is our next knife. And I think this was the first Viper I ever purchased. Was this 2014 production? Yes, it was. A tittied and smooth white bone. I've got a little leather thong lanyard tied. Beautiful walk and talk. 7.5 pull, I would say. I use this knife a lot. Carry it a lot. Next, this is my 65 Ben Hogan from 2022. It's hard to see underneath the bolster there. Let's see if we can. There we go. So this is a bare end Tittiute 22. So we've got a nail neck and a drawn swedge. Gorgeous Ben Hogan etch. Corset shield. Softish pull, about a 6. Now, I own this knife because I love the 65 Ben Hogan. I also love the 64 Babylon Hill. My grail pairing would be a 64 Babylon Hill swing guard with a French Kate 25 in the same cover. Please, Bill, please, please, if you wouldn't let me interview, at least run 64s and French Kates in paired covers. Please, please. But I love this knife. I love the Ben Hogan. Next, one of my very first GECs is this one, a special factory order from Mike Latham. It is a 48 slim improved trapper in LVS abalone. Oh, abalone from top to bottom in those covers, guys. Not a big slab of acrylic over a little thin sheet. Houndstooth shield. Satin, no etch, as Mike likes to do them. Muskrat clip main. Wharncliffe secondary. I love it, love it, love it. Always have, always will. Next up is my knife. The number 74 Heartland clip in Gabon ebony corset shield, triple line bolsters, single muskrat clip blade with the swedge I don't love, but that's how they were running them. And this is the only one of my knives I have left. I was going to keep one of the autumn gold jig bone and one of these, but somebody talked me out of the jig bone and I sold it. So this is the only one I got left. But what a one to have, huh? Next is my first Great Eastern Cutlery Rendezvous knife. I think these were 2016. Yeah, this was a 10th anniversary Rendezvous knife. So it's a 74 Mustang. And what did we call the bone? Was it ancient bone? I think. And it's kind of naturally hafted with a coating of clear epoxy to stabilize. Acorn shield because it's a stainless steel knife. I love it. This is a never used, never carried, by the way. Next up, I think the prettiest of all GEC patterns, the 92 Eureka Jack. What was this, 21 maybe? No, 2019. In yellow camel bone, or maybe they called it antique amber. I don't remember. I should have looked this stuff up. Double line bolster, plain end cap, houndstooth shield, the gorgeous spear, cut swedge, long match striker pole, secondary coping. And the thing that's cool about this knife is the way the secondary back spring wraps around to fill up what would be empty blade well. I love that. And the bone ages so beautifully. Next up, one of my favorite user GECs, the number 44 Buffalo Jack, or as I like to call it, the 44 Magnum Gunstock, Gabon ebony covers, hot dog shield, plain bolsters and end caps, big, robust clip point main, about an 8 pull, stunning walk and talk, big, long, usable secondary with Patty's potato peelers etched in the front. Definitely in my top 3 users of all my GECs. Next, the number 94 Liberty Jack, almost a gun stock. American flag on one side, the title, the heading of the Constitution on the back, Liberty etch on the mark, Gadsden flag on the pile. They ran a bunch of these. You can buy them cheap, but you won't be able to forever. Next up, the only 15 TC Barlow in my collection is the original ancient in scratted bone, factory patinaed steel bolsters, all steel knife, by the way. The lambfoot blade with the Campagna family crest stamped in. It's just my favorite TC Barlow ever made. This is the one I kept. Speaking of 15s, we have a 15 boy's knife, titty boy's knife, all steel, polished bolsters, polished black linen micarta, single clip point blade, strong 7 pull for a 3-inch knife. Yeah, it's stunning, and I use it a lot. Next up, the first Great Eastern cutlery knife I ever bought. You guys probably know what this is if you watch me a lot. It is the number 78 American Jack Northfield in cranberry jig bone, stunning peach seed jigging pattern, pinched and lined bolsters, plain end caps, polished blades, old Northfield etch, long pull, cut swedge, has been used, has been sharpened. Got the big usable pen blade. Yeah. This one is in my will. If I die before he does, this one belongs to A. Stephen Conti, Esquire, my cousin Vinny. It'll never be sold. Next up, because I love the 78 so much, when I walked into the Rendezvous, and I think this was, I believe this was purchased during the bootleg Rendezvous in 2020. Another 78 American Jack, but a Titty-Ute from 2014 that was still in the store 6 years later. This was a store-only knife, and this is one that you hand to your friends at the Rendezvous, and you say, see if you can figure out why this was a store-only, because you can't. Bill, you're such a funny guy. So gorgeous Macassar ebony covers. Same clip point blade as the Northfield, but drawn swedge and a nail nick. And you can see there's some scratches. This gets used. And that same famously large pen blade. Next up, a knife that should be a user for me, but I rarely use it. This is a 71 bullnose sodbuster from 2014. Let's see, let's put that up. From 2014. So this is an 01 knife in OD canvas, and I have obliterated the etch because I convexed this blade. Because it should be a user. It should be robust, and I made it that way. Still slices great. Looks great with the little leather lanyard, I think. That brings me to the last Great Eastern cutlery knife in my collection, and the most recent one. This is the 2023 Rendezvous knife, the 81 Muskrat in genuine stag. This is number 28. Not my usual number, but I wasn't there. Last year's Rendezvous happened about 10 days after I crashed badly, near fatally, and I wasn't able to attend. And dear sweet Patty talked to Joan May and talked to Bill, and they selected this Rendezvous knife for me and sent it to me while I was in bed. A debt I will never be able to repay. And such a cool knife. A rare match striker nail neck knife. How about that? With your genuine unexcelled stag. And then on the pile side of the main blade is your Rendezvous etch. Cam tangs. about a 6.5 or a 7 pull. Both blades are identical at opposite ends, except no etch on the secondary. I love that just for who they are. Okay, moving on. Our second brand is Hammer brand. And this knife is a never sell. It is from, I think, the 1930s. It's a Hammer brand peanut Christmas knife. So the celluloid covers are like red and green tissue paper. And it's got a clip point main on a cam. Nice walk and talk. And a little pen secondary. This was given to me as a Christmas present, not in the 1930s, but purchased by an old girlfriend for me at an antique store. Never selling that thing. Next up, another gift from our buddy Steve. How about the truth? This is my beloved Robeson Pocket Ease Serpentine Stockman from the 1920s. Yep, that is a 100-year-old pocket knife, guys. It's pocket ease because the tangs are flush to the handle. No snaggage. The bone is special because, well, it needs no explanation from me. Look at that. Not a crack either. Very little shrinkage. Still nice transitions. Believe it was originally a green. It's taken on more of a brown hue now. There would have been some red enamel in the shield and the relief around the pocket ease notation. Just a little hint of it left. I don't think we really want to redo that. That patina needs to stay. And it's a 3-blade knife. Here's the main. All cam tangs, but watch. Oh, did you see that just pop? Watch. We'll do a Mike Latham on it. Yeah. About a 7 pull, strong spring, super free. Secondary clip. Let's see. Yeah. And a secondary spay. And this has my edge on it too. Yeah. Nice patina, but nice full blades. Never selling that one. The Robeson Pocket Ease Serpentine Stockman. Next brand is Esnix Knives. Sarasota, Florida, USA. This is my knife from Evan Nicolaitis, proprietor of Esnix Knives. Just a little over 4 inches closed length. Rooftop jigging in the bone. Houndstooth shield. Bolsters are integral to the liners. It has mill relieved bolsters, so they act like washers, reducing the pivot surface area. About a 7 pull. Watch the Roadrunner at half stop. Yeah. Beautiful. The blade is a distinctly Esnix drop point, cut swedge long pull in CPM Magna Cut. That's never sell. Absolutely never sell. Love that knife. And it's exquisitely crafted, as all Evans knives are. In fact, let's just say it. There are 2 guys who make custom slip joint traditional pocket knives that stand head and shoulders above everybody else. One is a 2nd generation maker named Reese Bose. He needs no introduction. And the other is Evan Nicolaitis. Everybody else just wants to be as good as they are. I'm just saying. I'm so proud to own that. And the last knife in my traditional pocket knife collection is another locker. And of course, it's this one from 1980, a buck 110, brass frame, solid wood scales, not laminated. The more sharp corners, small-ish pins, but not the small S pins. Blade is 440C. This is before the 420HC era, or the 425M era. And check this out, guys. 43 years old. Rock solid lockup. Look at that. Free action. Strong spring, though, and almost perfectly centered. That one's never going away. Well, that's it for the traditionals, guys. I will be back soon with the fixed blade state of the collection video. Grace to you and peace, my friends, from God our Father and the Lord Jesus Christ. Remember, the word is sharp. I will talk to you soon.